Hi, I'm Cornelia. Welcome to the Business I Have No Clue the podcast. This is a new episode, and in this episode, we're going to dive into productivity and the 6 mistakes that I made that I want you to avoid. So that's why we're here. And before we dive in completely, I thought maybe I should just start with a story about myself. The story of how I got into this topic. Because when I think about productivity, I think it's not only about doing more, it's also about doing the right things. So doing less. And I don't know how it was for you when you were in school way back when. I was always the kid that was twice as fast as everyone else. I always did my work fast and then I enjoyed playtime. And I quickly figured out that in the real working world, it doesn't really work that way. You don't have extra time unless you become an entrepreneur, which is probably one of the reasons why I am an entrepreneur. But as a kid, and maybe you were the slow one, maybe you just as fast as I was, there's no way to know. And then after that, after school, at least I got to university at some point, and I had this attitude of it needs to be good. I deliver quality. It has to be really, really good. So I went from being super fast and taking time to play to working really hard, trying to get the best out of it as possible, trying to get high marks, high grades and all stuff like that. And I really was focused on it needs to be really good. And I don't know about you, if you go for a project, try something new or deliver work to your clients, what are your standards? Does it need to be perfect? Is it good enough? Is it good enough? Are you not getting started because you think it needs to be perfect and you're too scared to start? Or you start but you never actually finish projects, especially in your own business, because it needs to be perfect before you can actually publish it? Well, either way, I got you. I used to be like that and I changed it around. With these high standards and probably a lot of other reasons, during my master's degree, which is, I think, graduate in the American system. But in the European schooling system, it's called a master's degree. I worked really hard. I had to actually work for it to get the grades that I wanted. But something really bad happened to me. I'm usually pretty open about this, so some of you might already know, but if you are listening and you think, well, what is she talking about? I got a depression and it was ugly. Can't advise anyone to get depressed. I never would wish it on your worst enemy. So I got a therapist. And this therapist told me, whatever you do, don't quit your studying. You need to go to university and continue doing what you do. I don't care what kind of grades you get. Just go and do the work. I can tell you right now, I didn't feel like it. I wanted to change studies. I didn't want to study at all. But I did as he said. I went to university 1 day less a week, but still I went 3 days a week. And I did my work, but I did it a little bit differently because I let go of the crazy high standards I had. I didn't have the energy nor the time or the focus to do it with that kind of dedication. So it was very easy, actually. I just didn't work until I felt like it. And the point where I felt like it always became somewhere before a deadline. And the result was, well, it still kind of amazes me, to be honest. You just do half the time that you did, you lower your standards. Yeah, I don't know what you think, but I would think my grades would go down. I might even fail a course or something like that. No, the opposite happened. My grades went up and I thought, what is happening here? My grades went up, I have more time. And I thought, well, this way of working, I think I'm going to incorporate this in the rest of my life because I love it. I could do the high, deep, super focused work. Maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. I don't know. I didn't have energy to do a lot of stuff during my depression. But the results were even higher and better, and it was a very, very weird experience. But with this lesson in my back pocket, and it's been almost 10 years ago that happened to me, I quickly realized it wouldn't work this way in a job where you just have to work all the hours to get paid. But I did realize this works for me. It's actually one of the reasons I became an entrepreneur, because now I can determine my own work at my own time and do whatever I like. And you're probably an entrepreneur as well. So that is something that you should be able to do, is plan your own calendar. And as employee, you should be able to do that as well. But as entrepreneur, it's a little bit easier. Going on this journey as entrepreneur, well, that was a little tougher than I expected. Because now we come to the 6 mistakes that I made and how to avoid them. And the first one is, and this is really something that's still haunting me every single day, is not checking the quality of your work in data or other kind of feedback that you can get. And I will give you this example. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. When I started making stories on Instagram a couple of years ago, I got myself a course, learned how to do it and to do it well. But I probably missed like one memo on it or something like that. But I made really good stories, and everyone who followed me watches from the start till the end, which are weird numbers. I think it's like 80% retention rate, which is mind-blowing. But I didn't grow my Instagram account. I got stuck around 100 followers and nothing really happened. And I'm just like there every day making this kind of story, telling stories about my life and sharing them with everyone. But it didn't have the effect that I wanted it to. I wanted to grow on Instagram. But I also didn't really want to look at my data. I didn't check how many people watch my stories. I didn't check how my retention rate was, which if I did check was really, really high. But growing on Instagram needs a little bit more than just nice stories that people love to watch. You need to have a good target people, you need to give tips and some educational kind of stuff, be inspirational, but also vulnerable and everything in between. But with just stories, you're not going to get there. You need something else. You need posts or reels or whatsoever, and do that well as well. And because I didn't like actually the data scared me. I was scared to open my statistics, and once I did, I could look at my statistics every single day and get very anxious about them. Why isn't it changing? Why isn't it changing? So I'd rather just not look. But it's not really helping if you want to improve your business and grow with your projects. I mean, this was Instagram for me, but it could be anything. You know, the work that you deliver to your clients, the content that you make, the podcast, reels, TikToks. I don't know what it is that you do to post free content or for your clients, the work that you do. It's really important to get the feedback and learn from it, because otherwise you're just like a ship that is sailing without any direction at all. Or better said, you have a direction, but you're not looking at the map if you're actually going there. It's not a good situation to be in. So really figure out what kind of data can you look at, what kind of feedback can you get on the things that you do, even if it's just your energy. I feel like a 6 energy when I started this, and when I finish this it's like an 8. Well, then you have a good task. But if you are not doing that, but you're like starting with an 8 and you end with a 4, well, then something's not going right. Figure out if it is the data from your website or the retention rate from your podcast or whatever kind of data it is that you could look at it. Please look at it, because that's the way that you're gonna learn so much faster and your work is gonna be way more effective. And we like effective in being productive. You don't want to do anything that's not really bringing you to your goal, right? So that was mistake number 1. Mistake number 2. Oh, this one is so obvious. Skipping breaks and pushing through. I don't know when I learned this, but man, I could just sit and work for hours, feeling tired, still continue to work. No, this has to be done today. Let's go. I'm gonna push. Okay, no. Focus. Okay, Cornelia, focus. I could tell all these kind of things to myself without taking a break. And the thing is with not taking a break is the quality of your work has like a peak Like if you spend 90 minutes on a super deep focused task, that is doable. And after that, your mind needs some sort of break. And during your break, oh my God, I'm so good at this. I'm good at like opening my laptop, scrolling, whatever, Instagram, news apps, or reading a book. Watching a series on Netflix is also something I could do during a break. Those are all things you shouldn't do. It's like you don't give yourself a real break. You give just new input and while you're actually trying to focus on something else. Real breaks are something else. Real breaks are taking a walk around the block, dancing, singing, moving your body, drinking water, staring out of the window. Anything except for screens, basically. Don't look at a screen. And honestly, I'm saying this to you right now, and I just realized that during my last break, I read a book. So yeah, I still make this mistake as well sometimes, but I know if I feel really tired, I don't do this kind of shit. I take a walk around the block. I go for a walk with my dog. I do dancing and singing or play the piano or, I don't know, jump on a trampoline. I do something else to take care of me. And I think we've all been there with the skipping the breaks and trying to push through. Okay, 1 more hour and I'll be finished. And then half an hour later, okay, 1 more hour and I'll be finished. It doesn't work like that. Your body really, really needs the breaks to recharge, to refresh yourself, to be able to refocus. We're not made for focusing for a very long time. So don't go against nature and take the damn breaks, even if you don't feel like it. The third one is trying to remember everything in your mind. And if I look back at school, the over 10 years ago, I don't know, high school, university, I didn't really use my calendar. Just remembered everything. Oh, I have to start work at 4 and then I'll arrive at 4, and it sometimes wasn't even in my calendar. I just knew. The problem is with just knowing and trusting your mind is that at least I always tend to forget stuff. I booked double appointments. I forgot to call my friends. I forgot dates with my friends. There was a lot of stuff that I'm not really proud of, actually. And the trying to remember everything in my mind just, I don't know, leads to the fact that I forget a lot of things. And I think this works the same way for a lot of people. If you try to remember, yeah, I'll think about it later. I'll catch up with you and I'll do it when I get home. Well, we all know when you get home, there's something else. And you're definitely not going to call them back or write something down or pick up the book that you wanted to read. You forget. And you even forget the best ideas for your business. I think for the course that I'm making on productivity, for the course that I have on productivity, I read so many books. And I had these ideas about lead magnets. Because I now know how this works, I wrote them down. Now I have my pick of 3 different lead magnets. I didn't make all of them, but I have one for you, a free video. It's just, I wrote them down. Otherwise, I would have forgotten like 10 times to do this and to make the one. And then when I would be put on the spot, like now I need a lead magnet, I wouldn't be able to actually come up with the best idea, because the best idea I had when I was in the shower or driving home, and I decided to make a note in Google to actually remember it. And trust me, that helps a lot. The 4th one is, oh man, I don't know, when you're busy, you tend to just go for easy food. At least I do. When I'm busy, I'll order pizza. I'll order a burger, or I'll make the most easy stuff I can possibly think of. The other side of this coin, though, is that is usually very unhealthy food. And when I eat unhealthy food and I order stuff in, I'm probably intolerant to lactose. And to make it easy for myself, I eat vegan, so usually there's no dairy in there. But when you order, this goes wrong sometimes. And when I eat that, stuff that I ordered, like pizza. Forgot to mention that they shouldn't add the cheese. And I still eat it because I don't have time. I need to work. I am tired. I don't feel like cooking. Yeah, I get a stomach ache. Belly is hurting. And guess what? Now nothing is going to be done anymore. I'm just going to lie on the couch and wait for it to pass. This food coma that I'm in. The sugar high and the deep crash of the sugar afterwards. Super tired. I've got no energy left to do actually anything. So if you want to be more productive, like, and I'm no dietist or anything, but this mistake is so easy to make, especially when you're tired, especially when you're busy, especially when you want to get a lot of stuff done. But making this a priority and stuffing yourself with healthy food, like an athlete also doesn't eat fast food before he has to perform or she has to perform, right? They don't do that right before a game or, how do you call that? A contest. They don't. They seriously don't do it right before a contest. And neither should you. If you have to deliver at peak capacity, deliver at peak capacity with healthy food because it's so much easier. Yeah, so that's the fourth one. Fifth one, on this one, I can go on and on about this one. I have my own business and I work usually on a consulting kind of basis for other clients. And I have a client right now and she has a whole team for her business. It's not really clear how everything works, what she expects of everyone. There are no processes in this business or systems or anything. The system is her second one in command when she goes away on holiday for 4 weeks. The rest of the business is done. We need her to actually do our stuff. Not having processes costs so much time. It's unbelievable. I think when I have the hours that I make for this business is figuring out how it works. In my own business, I'm like this structured person that I love structure. I make online courses. For instance, a course about productivity. And when I make these courses, I always keep track of what I do, which steps I take, what kind of things need to be done. So I have checklists, I have systems in place, I know where to find everything. I make like a course twice a year, maybe 3 times, and if I'm really on a roll, 4 times a year. But it doesn't mean that I know the whole process from start to end. When I do it just 4 times a year, then it feels like you have to figure it out all over again every time. It's so much easier to have a system in place, to know which kind of things you need to do, to have checklists. It makes it so much easier. I literally have checklists for courses, for reels, for my end of the week review moment where I plan ahead my next week. I have checklists for everything, every task that I need to do on a regular basis for my business, even if it's very far apart once a year stuff. I have checklists. And once I hire somebody to help me with stuff, it is really nice to have these checklists because I can actually say, well, I do these steps, these are the standards, go ahead. It makes it so much easier to not do everything from your mind. So create business systems. Create them for everything that you do, from making content to connecting with clients to sales appointments. And the last one, this one is funny because I think we all procrastinate from time to time. You feel like I should be doing this, but I don't feel like it. And I actually think most of the procrastination stuff is a good thing because when you're busy with one of your projects, and in my case, like when I'm busy making a course on productivity, I think about all the things that I'm reading, I'm gathering all kinds of information that I need for this course. And actually on the moments where I'm quiet, when I'm doing nothing, when you're, I don't know, in the shower, driving a car, or cooking, or doing one of your sports kind of things, those are the moments when the best ideas come to your mind. And sometimes when you put in so much in your head, there's too much to do, you have a lot of stuff to do, all kinds of tasks that you need to finish big projects in your mind that you're thinking about, there comes a point when it's too much. When you feel like your head is going to explode. And when your head is exploding, not literally, but it feels tired, you can't really think, you can't really focus anymore, it's not time for just a short break, it's time to procrastinate. And usually those are the moments when you are distracting yourself, when you are going to do other things. And the only rule I have about procrastination for myself is keep moving my body, like working in the garden, getting groceries, shopping, walking the dog, going to my horse, dancing, singing, yoga, anything, literally anything. I have one rule, and that's don't sit on the couch and watch Netflix. That's literally the only thing that I'm not allowed to do when I'm procrastinating, because I know it works. Procrastination is actually a lot of work. The work isn't just output, it's just the process that's taking place in your mind. It's something that you're not aware of. But the fact that your head is so tired is because it's busy working and finding connections and doing all the work for you. It's just not ready to give you the output yet, because those connections are not made yet. And that takes time. And there's nothing wrong with taking a little bit of time. You can't always only produce output. It's simply not something that works when it comes to creative processes or working in a knowledge kind of field where you work with your brain. That's something that needs a little bit of time from time to time. So I am all for procrastination. And the mistake, thinking that procrastination is bad, that is something that you can leave out of your mind. From now on, procrastination is actually a good thing. It's your head helping you, your mind helping you out in the problems and struggles you have. We came to the end of 6 mistakes that I want you to avoid. There are a lot of more tips and tricks to find in the course on productivity. However, I also have a free resource for you with 7 tips and tricks on how to work faster, which is in addition to this podcast. It's part of the course. You can download it down in the description, and it's really going to help you to get more done in the same day. Well, of course, you can always come and join the course if you want to know more and become more productive and get out of your head and be done with procrastination. I just told you procrastination is a good thing, but be done with procrastination. Get more done, get the right things done, get some structure in your life as entrepreneur. Make sure to join the course. I want to end with the fact that as entrepreneur right now, I practice all the tips and tricks that I'm gonna give you in the course. And even though I sometimes still make these mistakes, I'm only human after all, I really feel that it's easy to get in the flow, to get the work done that I want to get done. If I'm not too enthusiastic and plan too much in my day, I know the most important things will always get done. And I have time to see my horse, walk the dog, spend time with my boyfriend, and really enjoy life. And I really want that for you too. And you listened up until this point, so that is already amazing. And I want to tell you, I love you. I believe in you, and I believe in the ability that you can change your business for the better with or without my help. And if you want it with my help, go check out the show notes and look for the free resources or the course on productivity. And I would love to see you there. And if not, tune in the next time and I'll talk to you.